This is the story of Lu Mingfei, an avid top-ranked gamer. One day, after he gets off playing with his friends, he gets a message from a random account. The message is an invitation to a match, and he quickly agrees. However, his opponent is also quite fearsome, as he loses in a second. His opponent, on the other hand, is a young girl who was testing Lu Mingfei. It is revealed that he has been selected as a student in their school and is classified as S rank. The girl and her lackeys are concerned about why their headmaster and Professor Good are after Lu Mingfei. In order to find these answers, they communicate with Norma, an AI of sorts, who claims that Lu Mingfei is an average guy with no aspirations. Due to some family issues, he lives with his uncle and aunt, and his dream is to lace through life. Meanwhile, Lu Mingfei gets scolded by his guardians for only playing games all day. Tasked with a couple of errands, he leaves that house and picks up a letter addressed to him. Inside the letter is an invitation to Castle College, and along with it is a smartphone which contains the contact info of Good. In addition, he is called out to Lijiang Hotel for an interview tomorrow. And so, the next day, he heads there, only to find that many others are also called. There, his crush, Chen Wenwen, is also present. One by one, all the students go for their interview. However, Lu Mingfei quits soon after seeing that the questions are weird. Nonetheless, Good wants him to join and so calls up his house to inform Lu Mingfei has cleared his interview. Moreover, his family is called out for lunch in a restaurant. There, it is revealed that Lu Mingfei's parents were both alumni from Castle and they want him to join as well. Despite this, Lu Mingfei is still hell-bent on Chen Wenwen and refuses to attend. Naonu, the girl Lu Mingfei lost to previously, is revealed to be a student of Castle as well. In addition, she gets tasked to convince Lu Mingfei to join the college. As such, while Lu is sitting on the rooftop and thinking about his situation, she appears behind him. There, he claims that he loves Chen Wenwen and will not give up on her. Hearing his resolve, Naonu claims she will give up, but in exchange, Lu Mingfei has to confess to her. Lu Mingfei agrees to this plan. As a result, he decides to do this tomorrow, when his club is holding a meeting. He gets all dressed up and gets flour, but his soul is shattered when he learns that Zhao Minghua, a club mate of his, has already confessed to Chen, and she accepted the proposal. Devastated, Lu Mingfei is incredibly sad. That is when Naonu again appears. She learned of this incident from Norma and came to save him from an embarrassing situation. She takes him away in her Ferrari. Lu Mingfei, now having his heart broken, agrees to join Castle and his enrollment is completed. Consequently, he is then sent to school. Getting only a Metro card and $20, he aimlessly asks for direction, but everyone mistakes him for a beggar, until another student of Castle runs into Lu Mingfei. This student tells Lu Mingfei about the CC line and how it is the easiest transport to their college. In addition, they have to spend the night here as the car will arrive in the morning. As Lu Mingfei sleeps, he gets a nightmare where he sees many men charging toward a castle. In addition, he sees a childlike figure who calls Lu Mingfei his brother. Suddenly, he has woken up from his slumber thanks to the car's announcement. As he goes to check in, the conductor loses his shit after realizing that this scrawny kid is Lu Mingfei, an S grade. The conductor tells him that a higher ranker like him can call out a car to be picked, and so he shouldn't have waited for this car. Almost immediately after inputting his card, a special train comes to pick him up and Good jumps out of it to greet him. Good hands him a custom uniform for the school and starts the enrollment counseling. There, Lu Mingfei finally learns what this is. Professor Good reveals that the main topic of Castle College's study is dragons. Perplexed and confused, Lu Mingfei is left speechless as Good continues. He reveals that dragons have always existed along with humans, and at this school they learn how to kill them. He adds that the aim is to create heroes to protect the world. Hearing this, Lu Mingfei thinks that Good is retarded. Suddenly, he gets a vision of the same boy he saw at the airport. He tells Lu Mingfei that everything Good is saying is true and he is forced to believe it. He wakes up on a couch, revealing that he had fainted. Furthermore, Good brings out a dragon scale and a hatchling dragon to prove his statement with evidence. Seeing that Lu Mingfei is shaken to his core, Good decides to take him for a walk, claiming that fresh air will help his mental state. As such, when they reach the school, they take a walk around campus. While Professor Good continues his rambling, Lu Mingfei notices that there are no other students in sight. As he expresses this concern, Good starts to sweat as he finally remembers what the schedule for today entails. As he starts to freak out, Lu Mingfei is also worried when suddenly something astonishing happens. An all-out war starts happening and students appear from all around. Gunshots, stabbing, and all such violent acts start happening, and even Good gets shot. Scared shitless, Lu Mingfei hides in a corner as the students keep dropping like flies. Eventually, only 2 females and 2 male students remain. The male student Caesar, the student council president, and Qi Zihang, president of Lionheart Association, face each other in an epic sword fight. As Lu Mingfei watches their battle, suddenly Naonu appears out of the sky in front of him. However, she suddenly points her gun at him, telling him to duck, and shoots her opponent behind him. However, she gets shot instead and falls to the ground. Lu Mingfei becomes enraged after seeing this, and the young boy from his visions takes over. Picking up Naonu's gun, he shoots the girl that shot her and then shoots the men. As he remorse over Naonu's death, a brigade of nurses coming in rushing. Even Good wakes back up, revealing that this war is a mock test and everyone is okay. Nonetheless, Professor Man, a grumpy teacher, starts to complain and even calls up the headmaster Ange. However, Ange is in support of the students' activity. Furthermore, the headmaster also compliments Lu Mingfei for taking down the strongest students despite it being in his first day. After his call, the students look at him with anger, and so he escapes to his room. There, the student he met while waiting for the train, named Finger, is revealed to be his roommate. Finger gives him a tour of the campus, where Lu Mingfei becomes mesmerized by a certain tree. Upon inquiry, he learns that this tree is a replica of the World Tree, where the Black Dragon King was suppressed. Suddenly, Good comes rushing and takes Lu Mingfei with him. He hands him his student card and tells him to prepare for the spiritual language test tomorrow. Furthermore, he is also exposed to the Dragon King's roar, but it has no effect on Lu Mingfei. Suddenly, after Good leaves, Finger notices Lu Mingfei looking sad. He asks why. He learns that Lu Mingfei will most definitely fail the test. As such, Finger suggests that he cheat, and he immediately agrees without hesitation. Meanwhile, Good runs to the library after the test on Lu Mingfei. He also calls Man out and theorizes that Lu Mingfei might be of the White Dragon King's bloodline, which is why the roar had no effect on him. Man suggests that Lu be taken in as a valuable specimen. However, Good doesn't want to endanger his student's life as a research specimen. Man, being considerate of Good, claims that if Lu passes the exam, he will refrain from telling anyone, but if he fails, then might speak out. Moreover, Lu Mingfei not expressing any emotion to the roar has reached everyone's ear. That night, a shadowy figure convinces Norma to allow Lu Mingfei to pass his exam. The next morning, Lu Mingfei is seen rushing to the exam room and barely makes it. As the exam starts, the question paper is blank and the examiners turn on a spiritual language recording. Hearing this, the students lose their minds. However, Lu Mingfei has the answers thanks to Finger. As he completes his exam, he finds a quiet blonde girl next to him, who is also diligently doing the exam without any disturbance. Suddenly, a bison strikes and Lu Mingfei sees the young child again. As they converse, the kid introduces himself as Lu Ming's. He claims that he is Lu Mingfei's physic vision. Together, they go through an inner journey where Lu Ming's talks very cryptically. Despite his visions, which make him faint, Lu Mingfei manages to pass the exam with flying colors. After the results, Finger congratulates him. In addition, he tells him about the traces of a dragon that have recently been discovered. On the other hand, two students are at the site, exploring the location. There, Yisheng and Aki use their familiar and locate a large metal. As the exploration continues, a sudden underwater earthquake hits them and they get trapped. Despite this, one of them manages to inform his superior that he might be in the palace of the King of Bronze and Fire. Their superior, another professor, calls the headmaster and informs him of the situation. He adds that he wishes to explore this place more as the cracks can disappear at any time. As such, he gets permission to do so and also gets his hands on a baby called the Key thanks to his purity in the bloodline. Along with the Key, Professor heads into the ocean to meet up with the Key and Yisheng. And so, upon reuniting, they enter the palace after opening the door thanks to the Key. Soon after, the professor returns to the surface and commands them from above. Meanwhile, the students continue on their journey. They soon reach a chamber with suspicious-looking structures. While Yisheng searches the surroundings, Aki takes pictures of the structure, learning that there is dragon writing on it. Suddenly, Aki starts breathing heavily and loses contact. Nonetheless, Yisheng arrives in time to comfort her. However, this Yisheng isn't real, but a sinister statue. The original Yisheng returns and snaps Aki out of her hallucinations. He shoots the statue and all returns to normal. But not for long, as the walls of the chamber suddenly start moving. They try their best to escape but end up trapped. Back at the campus, the students being trapped causes an alarm, waking everyone up. As all the higher-ranked students gather, Lu Mingfei also makes his way there and runs into Naonu. The professors brief them on the situation and they all get to deciphering the dragon writing on the structure, thinking that might have a way out. All the students try their best, but Lu Mingfei proves useless here. Suddenly, thanks to Lu Ming's, he manages to decode the writing and open up a route, leaving everyone surprised. Meanwhile, Yisheng and Aki are still fighting the underwater currents. With the help of Lu Mingfei and the Key, Aki and Yisheng manage to find a route in order to escape this ever-changing temple. The professor is overjoyed at this development. On the other hand, Aki realizes that the route is still too long. Claiming that they would not have enough oxygen to reach the surface, she wants to spend her last moments with him. Suddenly, Yisheng kisses her, proclaiming his love for her, and then states that he cannot let her die. Meanwhile, the professor also realizes the miscalculations and sends out lifeboats to search the surface. Suddenly, Aki goes to the surface alone. She hands a copper can Yisheng discovered but gets dragged underwater by something, as the ocean water suddenly turns a dark crimson color. Consequently, both students lose their lives. Enraged, the professor uses alchemic weapons and attacks the beast. However, the beast is revealed to be a dragon and he recovers no damage. Suddenly, he gets the idea to deploy their bombs and they quickly do so. Nonetheless, the dragon simply eats them. The bombs detonate inside it but still no damage. Agitated, it attacks and kills the professor's assistant. The chase still continues and the human's ship keeps getting cornered. By a stroke of luck, a dud bomb remained inside the dragon, using which they manages to survive by killing the beast. However, a tooth from the dragon remains comes flying at the professor, and even he loses his life. Later, Headmaster informs the students of the ship returning. In addition, they learn of Kai and Yisheng's death. After the meeting, as Lu Mingfei heads back, Qi Ziheng approaches him and asks him to join his Lionheart Association. Shy, Lu Mingfei refuses. The next day, he gets an invitation from Caesar, the council president, to attend a ball. Finger convinces him to go and they reach a huge mansion, dressed up all formally. There, Nanu is also present, looking as beautiful as ever, but Lu Mingfei learns that she and Caesar are a thing. As the ball starts, Caesar first congratulates Nanu on her birthday and then gives a beautiful and motivating speech as a show of power. Suddenly, he then tells Lu Mingfei to join him and stand by his side. If not, he is free to leave. Seeing him stumped, Caesar gives Lu Mingfei some time. As the next song starts playing, the girl Lu Mingfei say on the 3E exam is also present. She, after leaving her music station, approaches him and asks for a dance. Thanks to her abilities, they pull off an amazing dance and she then exits the party. Lu Mingfei also sees Nanu leave and decides to go after her. Running outside, he congratulates Nanu on her birthday. Suddenly, she then asks him to take her to the mountain peak. He agrees and starts driving. On the other hand, the campus is breached by a group of 13 people. The students quickly arm themselves and go after these intruders, quickly capturing many of them. However, a few still remain. The professors call up the watchman head and he suggests giving the students some experience, to which the staff agrees. Meanwhile, Nanu and Lu Mingfei are heading up. During the drive, Lemings intervenes and informs Lu Mingfei of how much burden Nanu is carrying after Aki and Yisheng's death. After they reach the peak, he asks her about how she is holding up. She claims to be fine and they continue their chat. On the other hand, the watchman releases the barrier, which stops the use of spiritual language. This is done so the students can use their powers fully. However, this also allows the intruders to use their power as well. A group of attackers goes under stealth to attack the council and Caesar. However, now able to use his spiritual language, Caesar easily breaks apart their technique. The leader of the intruder group is revealed to be Mai, Aki's little sister. As they both chat, she reveals that their group came to retrieve the King of Bronze and fires copper can. Their team starts shooting each other, however, only the leaders emerge unscathed. They then start a battle of their own. Meanwhile, a lone girl visits Qi Ziheng. They both begin their matchup as well and he quickly uses his spiritual language, King Flame, a rare yet overpowered ability. Nonetheless, his opponent also has the same language he does. One of the intruders, number 13, manages to reach the most secure area of the collage. There, he gets closer to his objective but is halted at a door. Despite feeling a sinister aura, he opens it. On the other hand, Lu Mingfei and Nanu are still chatting. There, she asks him to join the student council. She claims that she wants a junior of her own and Lu Mingfei is a perfect candidate. As they continue to converse, Lu Mingfei slowly but surely becomes bewitched by her and ultimately decides to become her junior. She is overjoyed at this decision and vows to cover for him. Meanwhile, number 13 is confronted by a shark after opening the door, but he manages to evade it and ventures deeper until he happens upon a meeting. In that meeting, Headmaster is seen addressing a crowd about the copper can, revealed to be a bone flask of the Dragon King. Thanks to Norma, the AI, they learn that there are 2 chambers in the flask. From this, the flask is then revealed to be a cocoon with a dragon inside. Headmaster uses force to close and seal the cocoon and the crowd dismantles. Using this opportunity, 13 decides to retrieve the flask. As he approaches it, however, he gets hallucinations and decides to quit. Nonetheless, a shadowy figure comes up behind him and releases the cocoon, using his own blood to kickstart the hatching. Meanwhile, Caesar and Mai are still fighting. That is when their match gets interrupted by an explosion. They call a truce and head to check out the situation, finding footprints. They decide to follow them, but seeing the direction of travel, Caesar becomes worried about what might be in store. On the other hand, Lu Mingfei and Nanu have returned to the campus. The end, for now.